Hey guys, it's MT4 from Optimus Futures. Today I'm going to go over the last part of the momentum indicator, which is the last part. I think this is really one of the most important ones here. I don't want to put relevance on what's really important to look at or not to look at, but I think this is really important. Let's just put it this way, because a lot of the times if you're in the trade, you have to know if the trend is very strong, not by feel, but actual numbers, right? Like you gotta have an indicator that tells you, you gotta have a method that tells you. You don't want to just guess. Is it trending? Is it not? So I created here something that I think is fairly simple to take a look at and decide. Of course, it's not universal. It's not forward-looking. It's just our own thing that we have built just to tell you what it actually does. So there are three phases here. There is trend, range, and fade. Today the markets are in fade state. However, if you look at previous videos, I think we did one yesterday, you can actually see that the trend was actually, it says here trend plus plus. So the fade, and again I'm going to repeat it again slowly. So the trend is to see whether the market is trending. Then you have range, which is to know if the market is range bound, or it's fade, meaning there was a trend, but it's starting to lose momentum. The trend has two states or two modes. It has trend and trend plus plus, which means it's a very strong trend as opposed to just a trend. And fade, you have also, again, if the trend is losing momentum, and of course my phone is stirring now, but we'll let it do its thing. Murphy's Law. It's fine, Jake, don't worry about it. It's all good. Jake is just helping me here with the video. Okay, so let me just repeat it again. So trend plus plus, it's very strong as opposed to trend. And then you have fade where the momentum is losing its trend. Sorry, not the momentum, but the price is losing its trend. And fade plus plus, it's really losing, the price is losing momentum really, really fast. Range is always range. There's no range bound, there's no strong range bounds or mild strong. We just decided to stick with one range. So now I'm just going to go over that again, over the markets again. So we'll start with the E-minis, and we see that it's fade and fade, meaning the trend is losing its momentum. As you see, price came down, came up, and now it's kind of going like this, so it's losing. Here, this is the micro. I don't know what those red lines are, but we have the same. It's in a fade. Okay. If you look at this is Dow. Now here you see the Dow is actually fading rather fast. The trend has lost more. We would assume the same thing would be on the micros. We're going to go to the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq actually here. You have, so again, the current time frame, let's go back to the Dow. So in the Dow, you have the current time frame is losing momentum really, really fast, but the high time frame is just losing momentum. If we look at the Nasdaq, I think this is the Nasdaq, yeah, it's exactly the opposite. The current trend is losing momentum, but the higher time frame is losing momentum even faster. Same thing here. This is really different. Here, okay, exactly the opposite, which is really interesting. So I'm really happy we did the video today. We have the current time frame. The market is actually trending, and it's trending up. So if you're a short-term trader and you happen to be in the long position, the trend is good. So sometimes one index trades one way and something else. I mean, on bad days, they usually all collapse together, but on certain days you can have current time frame, which is again shorter time frame. The market is trending up. The long-term trend, which is the high time frame, it's losing momentum. So again, if you recall in the videos previously, what I discussed is to distinguish between, you can't use everything. If you're a short-term trader, look at the current momentum. And if you happen to be long, then obviously, you should stick with it because the trend is good. It's just, There's no reason to get out of it. Again, only according to this indicator. You know, you have to use your method. Look at the other things that we have done as well. On the micro, we should really have the same, and that's it. So here's on the micro Russell, you have a fade, which is plus plus. So it's interesting. Here, both of them are plus. Okay, that's also interesting because now you see that the current time frame, you have a very strong trend up. On the current time frame, you have a very strong up. On the higher time frame, you have actually it's losing momentum really, really fast. So again, it's a perspective of short term versus long term. Now, let's assume that I don't like to avoid, you know, looking at time frames, right? I don't like it. I like to confront it so somebody could say, well, Matt, what do you do if you have a short term trend, you know, that actually is going up, but, you know, your higher time frame is actually losing really fast? My answer to that would be, it depends on your capital and it depends on your time frame of trading. If your time frame is short term, you're closing every day, you're a short term trader, then look at the trend. You have to look at it. That's what it is, right? If you're a longer term trader, you know, then you could still stick with the trade if it's short, right? But you're obviously going to run into a drawdown today. So you have to withstand this drawdown and decide whether you want to be in it or not. That's really the decision that you have to make between the two. And sometimes it's like that. It's sometimes hard. It would have been 10 times better if they both stand in the same direction, and then you can be determined whether to stay in the trade or not. Now, let's assume that you are short in this position, okay? Let's assume that for some reason your indicators are telling you, you know, that you are actually short. So I don't want to indicate a price that you're short from, but if you see it doesn't take a genius to see that the price is going up, right? It's amazing that people are saying, well, I don't know if the market is trending, it's not trending. I love those debates that people have. It takes a 3-year-old to look at the chart and say, well, yes, it's trending up, right? And the trend is actually indicated here. I mean, the price is going up. Trend is a different story, but clearly you have a price rise here. That's basically it. I hope that in the future videos, what we're going to do, we're going to go over all three of them together and analyze the markets together. If you have any questions, you can always ask me below. Try to give you the most accurate answers to the best of our understanding, and we hope that if you get this indicator, that it will help you. It works on MT4, it works on MT5, it works on FX markets, spot FX, it works on all the futures market through MT5 that we supply through AMP. That's basically it. Let us know. Any feedback would be appreciated. Subscribe to this channel. Please click the like button. And that's it. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you after Memorial Day.